The Ondo State House of Assembly has resumed sitting after almost 2 months of closure that followed the leadership crisis at the House. A faction of the House had alleged that the Speaker, Honorable Jumoke Akindele, as well as 2 other principal officers of the House, the Deputy Speaker, Fatai Olotu, and the Majority Leader, Ifedayo Akinsoyino, of defrauding the House of a sum of 15 million naira. Subsequently, the Speaker and the 2 principal officers were impeached and suspended from the House by 13 members. Thereafter, Honorable Malachi Koka was elected as the acting Speaker.
Anybody that has been impeached can no longer resign. We have stated this at the Hallowed Chamber of the Assembly in our sitting today. The former leadership, that is the former Speaker and the Deputy Speaker and Majority Leader, they remain impeached and suspended in line with the rules of the House and in line with Section 92 of the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as amended. So whether they resign or not, I don't know anything, and that resignation is not known to the House. The House has set up a committee, a panel, to investigate the fraud perpetrated by these principal officers.
The federal government says that the rebuilding of the infrastructure in Nigeria's northeast region after years of insurgency remains a top priority. The Minister of Power, Works and Housing, Mr. Pt.2 Fashola, said this during an inspection of ongoing projects in the region. He adds that the activities of Boko Haram largely contributed to infrastructure decay in the areas.
The northeast region is facing huge infrastructure challenges after years of attacks by the Boko Haram insurgents. The Minister of Power, Works and Housing, Mr. Pt.2 Fashola, is leading a team to assess the level of work on some of the federal projects in the region. The team's first stop is the 68-kilometer Gombe-Numa-Yola Road, an interstate road connecting Gombe, Adamawa and Taraba states.
We recall that recently we approved 11 roads at the Federal Executive Council. So some of these roads is part of what we approved. There's another set pending before Council. So very soon this experience will change because now that there is more security, you've seen the transport services, Adamawa Express, Gombe Express, all of this. People traveling now without much concern. It shows you that life is returning to the northeast.
The minister's team also stopped on the Jalingo, Kona, Lao and Karim Road, which has just been completed. 6 federal roads in Bauchi State and another 7 in Gombe State are under construction. The minister's team inspected the projects and made some observations.
Most of the challenges here have been financing. You heard that this dam was built in 1988 by the Babangida government, and since then the electrical side wasn't completed. That sometime later in the year, we're about 6 months away from getting this ready.
The minister also visited some power plants and housing projects in the region.
Commander of the Special Task Force Operation Safe Haven, Major General Rogers Nicholas, says the task force will not allow unauthorized armed vigilantes or any group to undertake security training in Plateau State unless there's a clearance from the Defense Headquarters. The task force commander states that over 200 vehicles conveying vigilante members from across the country en route Plateau State for training were intercepted by the security personnel and subsequently were asked to return to their destinations. He was speaking at a meeting with religious leaders in Jos, the state capital. Plateau State in north-central Nigeria has had its fair share of civil unrest, from herdsmen attacks to ethnic clashes. This has kept the people in fear of the unknown. For now, it's peaceful and calm. The question is, how can this peace be sustained? Seeking an answer to that, the Special Task Force Operation Safe Haven has been meeting with religious bodies on the way forward.
In the peace-building process, these various religious stands have been put together to sustain the peace in terms of preaching peace, in terms of talking to their people. And also collaborating with the military in trying to build the peace. So in reaching out to these people, we also reach out to the various stands to be able to collaborate with them to sustain the existing peace we have on Plateau.
The religious leaders lament the rate of crisis in the north, especially that of southern Kaduna, and they say they are willing to help.
We desire that this peace, as I said earlier, will not be just only sustained, but peace will be returned to Plateau and established on the Plateau so that people will enjoy.
Our prayers in terms of this building peaceful coexistence here, and even some part of the areas that we have problems, especially in the southern Kaduna side. Honestly, that problem, we from JNI, we are not happy and we are condemning what is happening there.
One issue of concern to the military, however, is that of unauthorized training of vigilantes.
But that was a time we had an issue where a sect was preaching incitive preaching, kind of, and another sect complained, and we had to sit down with these various groups to also talk to them so that we don't allow a situation where laws can break down.
Stakeholders here agree that to sustain the peace on the plateau and its environs is a task for all, noting that an effective civil-military relationship will be of great help. Staying with security matters, the governor of Rivers State, Nyesom Wike, has commended the Nigerian Air Force for its efforts in the fight against terror, particularly in the northeast. The governor was speaking when the new commander of the Nigerian Air Force 115 Special Operations Group, Air Commodore Mahmoud Mahdi, visited him in Port Harcourt, the Rivers State capital. He also lauded the Air Force for staying away from politics.
What I've done well in the fight against Boko Haram, without you, it will be very difficult. I mean, without using the air, it will be very, very difficult to dislodge those people before the ground troops will move in. So I commend you. It's a sacrifice you've made for this country. All will pray that God will continue to keep people and give you the strength to fight for this great country. What I have, nobody has indicted Air Force of carrying electoral materials. The only problem I have with security agencies is when they go and carry materials and to begin to make sure that one particular political party wins election.